Good morning and welcome to Full Circle Ozarks.
Well, good morning, Full Circle Ozarks. I'm not the normal face you would see, but as you guys can remember, Pops, he has had hip surgery and videoing must continue. So I'm gonna kind of surprise him with this video and him and Mom and let you know on a project that I'm doing. And so we won't let him out of the house yet until his hip is healed up. So he's itching to get out, but work must continue. So what I'll be doing, and I'll take you out to the site that I'll be building my shed, is building a 12 by 16 shed with an 8-foot lean-to. And I think it's gonna be a fun build. We had a neighbor come down that owns an excavating and dirt moving company. And so he prepared the pad, the gravel pad, moved a lot of dirt. I think there was previous videos on him doing that. But the pad's ready. We've got 3 skids out there that Pops milled up on his sawmill. They're 16 foot long, 6 inches by 6 inches. And that's what the shed will rest on. But I'll tie everything together with floor joist and anchors. We'll be running electricity out to the shed. So there'll be a 100 amp service running from the meter panel on the side of my house to the shed. So within the shed, we'll break down and we'll have different breakers. We'll have a 50 amp for a welder, a bunch of 20 amps for the outlets. But just wanted to keep you updated, and I'll keep you with me during the whole process of potentially doing the floor today, the rafters, or the floor joist, excuse me, the floor joist, and putting the subfloor on and attaching everything to the actual skids that are already out on the gravel pad. But inside my small garage, I feel like I have a hardware store. That was probably the worst part about building a shed, is shopping for everything. Now, I could have went out and bought a prefab shed, but most of those are 24-inch on center studs. I'm not going to say they're subpar buildings, but I could build a shed that had 16-inch on center studs, 2x6 for the floors, shingles, windows. We're going to have a double swing door. So there'll be 2 4-foot doors, so there'll be an 8-foot opening on the front. And that's potentially to bring in our side-by-side and get it out of the garage in case there's a storm when we need to move both cars in the garage. But I can overbuild this shed and it'll probably last longer than a prefab shed, and it's cheaper. The cost of materials was about $1,500 cheaper than having a shed brought out that was already made. So the only thing it really costs at that point is your time and your labor. But I enjoy doing this, and I really can't wait till Pops is on the mend and he can come out and help with the process and be a part of these videos. But for the time being, I'll begin, and I'm a little bit slower because I rely on his expertise quite a bit on things. So what I could just ask him, now I'll just Google or YouTube. So I've never built a shed before, and it's going to be an interesting process for me. I enjoy doing things like this. So stay with me, and I'll take you through, and we'll film all the steps from the ground up to the finished part. So this is going to be most likely multiple different recordings over weeks of building. So we'll probably join them all together and just make a playlist of a shed build. But you'll see, week by week as the progress of the shed build. So I look forward to doing this with you guys. I look forward to Mom and Pops, especially Pops, being back on the mend and and he's taken this back over. I've never spoke on camera before, so it's an interesting concept to me, but he values his viewers and he values this channel greatly, and so I wanted to continue to do this for him while he's healing. So I'll go ahead and take you out to the gravel site and show you what we got.
Good morning again, Full Circle Ozark viewers. So I told you I'd give you a walkthrough. So this is the panel that's coming off the side of my house. So there, we'll put a 100 amp breaker underneath the meter in the access panel, and then I'm going to trench from down here all the way over to the gravel site. Now it's about an 84-foot run. I'll bury it 18 inches deep in conduit. So the gray conduit. I've got a direct bury wire, but direct bury requires 24 inches. Conduit's 18 inches, and then metal conduit is 6 inches. I chose the plastic electrical conduit just because it was $8 a stick, and I'd rather hit that first if I ever have to dig than hit the direct bury wire. So all of this area was trees and brambles and stuff that you saw our neighbor clear, and this was the finished product. Now down here at the corner, so he brought that hill up about 7 feet. So there's about 7 foot of dirt on that side, and of course it slopes off and kind of follows. Well, I say it's about 4 foot of dirt and about 3 foot of gravel at the far edge, and then you got about a foot of gravel over here. But what he did when taking all that dirt is he gave me a beautiful flat spot up here that we'll end up putting in a garden a little bit later on this spring, and it's just a beautiful area. So let's go out to the gravel pad. Now we didn't put in drainage. If you're seeing this drainage pipe, I did that after we had built our house, and that is tied in from our gutters, so all the water runs away from our house. So that's not part of the gravel pad. There's plenty of gravel there for water drainage. All right. Well, okay, so from this flag to this flag is 12 foot. So I have these three 16-inch or 16-foot 6x6 skids that the shed will build or sit on. From this flag to this flag is the 8-foot lean-to. So later on in a video, we'll have the tractor with the post hole digger digging out that flag, and then we'll pour some concrete around another 6x6 post, and we'll get them set in place. But that'll be a good spot to park the side-by-side under or the lawnmower. So the shed from this flag to that flag back there, that's a 16-foot run. So that's your 16 by your 12, and then the lean-to. But I'll take you to the edge of this gravel pad. You can kind of see how that slopes down pretty good down to that holler down there. But our neighbor did an excellent job of cleaning all this up, and we really appreciate him doing it for us. But everything out here is looking nice. It's ready for the build. Yesterday I used Pop's laser level and came out and got the skids to where they were all within a 1/4 inch of each other. So here I had to dig out about 4 inches of gravel and about 2 inches back there to get this skid even with the top of this skid. So kind of finessing the gravel. You can see kind of where the gravel is pushed up and getting those skids all perfectly even. So when I set the floor joist on top of them, that I'll have an even floor. So, but today we'll probably set the floor joists on. We'll use some hurricane ties to tie the joist into the skids, and we'll get that built and may get the subfloor on. It just depends on how much time I got. So look forward to continuing this process with y'all. And like always, thank you for watching. It means the world to my pops. And I really appreciate the support that you guys give him. And we'll just continue to pray for his healing and that he can get out here with me and enjoy this build.
All right, good morning again. So what I went ahead and did is I've already cut all my floor joists to 11 feet 9 inches to accommodate the 1.5 inch boards on each side. I went ahead and marked out my stud locations. I put 2 of these 16-foot boards together to make sure that the studs, the floor joists were equal across the boards. I hung the joist hangers beforehand so I could build the box when I get out to the skids. And once I build the box, then I can just slide the floor joist in, or that's what I'm thinking I can do. We'll see if it works, and maybe it won't, and I'll be doing a lot more extra work. Who knows? But so build the box and then put the floor joist inside the box and then nail everything from the outside. So that's the kind of the plan today. You can see behind me, we've got all the direct buried wire. We've got the subfloor using 3/4 inch subfloor, tongue and groove. So everything will lock together. I'll use an adhesive on top of the joist when I put the subfloor down, and get everything nice and tight. Like with anything, foundation is the most important thing when you're building. Get it done right. So I'll take my time with making sure that this is square, and if this is square, everything else going up should be square, logically. I've never done this, and I could be way off, but that's the way of thinking that I've got is get the floor square, get the sheet goods square, and if I can do that correctly, then everything else should match up as I build the walls and I build the roof. But I'll take you along. I'm going to end up taking this stuff out to the gravel pad and getting everything kind of staged out there. You'll notice a couple arrows. Now I put arrows on every single one of these joists. And what I did that for was to make sure the crown of the joist was facing up. So if it's facing up, it's everything that I've read is you don't want the crown facing down, you want the crown facing up, because then as you put the weight on it, it supports that. You don't get a sag if the crown's facing down. So I don't want the floor to sag, so the crowns are facing up. Did all the pre-cuts already, so really this should be like building Legos if all my measurements were correct. And I think everything will go pretty well. Now the front joist is a double plate and the rear joist is I think that's what they're called, rim joist. But the front is a double, the rear is a double. Now I really just wanted the front a double, but I couldn't do the front without doing the back. I don't know why. But the front is a double because of the weight that potentially coming through those 2 4-foot doors. If I ever were to bring the UTV in there, I want that front contact point of the shed to be a little bit more sturdy. But like I said, I'm going to take these out there, get them on the skids. Once I get them on the skids, and I'll start measuring everything, make sure it's square, do the 3-4-5 rule. A 16 by 12, your diagonal should be 20 feet. So if I can get 16 by 12 and 20 and everything matches up, then I'll go ahead and secure everything to the skids, and we'll start putting on the subfloor. All right, stay with me, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right.